How we doing, guys? Welcome to another Colin's Performance Corner. Highly anticipated car on the show today. So we have behind me the all-new Q3. Now this one is the e-hybrid model. So this is the model that everybody kind of has been asking about. So we've got it out today for a drive. Now this is a very important car for Audi. Now this is the first of the cars we would say is the mainstream kind of volume cars that's been given the all-new architecture from Audi with the new interior, the new design language. So this is the first kind of main volume car to have all that. So let's see, has it been worth it? Is the car too expensive? What does it drive like? What's it like inside? We're going to answer all that today. So hope you enjoy the video. We're going to take a wee tour of the outside first, do a wee tour of the inside, then we're going to take it out for a drive and get my thoughts on how Audi have done on this very important car. So hope you enjoy the video, guys. Speak to you all soon. Right, so just going to take you a general walk around the car first, guys. So I'll go on to some of the extra features that the car has on the test drive, and of course I'll do a couple of these segments as we're going round. So as you can see, let's just look at the overall profile of the car. So I'm not too kind of fixated on it yet. I think it sort of has a kind of weird proportion from certain angles, but that doesn't make it a bad looking car. You can see it's very muscular from the side with the design profile just up by the back arches and the haunches and everything here. It's got that usual sort of kind of appearance that you would expect for an SUV with a big ground clearance and everything on it as well. I think these alloys are particularly nice. These are the launch edition alloys with the diamond cut and sort of kind of matte grey finish with the red calipers. I think they look really good. Now, one of the things you will recognise round the back here is probably very similar to a lot of the cars that I've sort of kind of reviewed recently. It has the new A6 kind of back end on it, let's call it. I don't know if this is one of the things that kind of throws it out of proportion, because you're used to seeing this back end on the A6 and they've kind of squeezed it onto the back of the Q3. Again, I love the design with the split sort of kind of LED modules at the top, the light bar along the bottom, and the sort of brake lights and indicators and that on the side there, which is quite cool. The back bumper looks particularly nice, which just runs along here. Some nice detailing along the middle of the back bumper with some good plastics and everything used, all being gloss. So really is a great looking car from the sort of back end. But one of the particular strong points of the car and the time of kind of how away it looks is if you just come round to the front here, it has a really nice looking front end on it. So if you just sort of kind of look at it dead on, it really does look the business, and it's got the lovely matrix digital LED headlights, which I'll go into a bit more detail at the moment. Massive big Audi rings and everything all at the front of it there as well. So really is a lovely looking car. You can see more of these modules, which we'll just touch on in a minute. So let's have a wee look at this new lighting technology at the front. So Audi have still went for the split kind of light design. So up here you've got your 23 segment LED, completely customizable, so you can choose kind of what running light and everything that you want here. Really nice. You know, Audi are always at the forefront of lighting technology and everything on their cars, and it's no different on this one. So this one uses the first of the kind of mainstream cars to use very advanced lighting technology. So this does have what's called digital matrix LEDs. So inside here, it's got a host of what's called new micro LED technology. And what that's able to do is that's able to project kind of symbols and everything on the road as well. So if you just look at this wee kind of clip that I've just put in the background here, you know, it's got the ability not only to adjust your light like the matrix technology always has, like focus on the lane, you know, light up the kind of, you know, the objects beside you, light up the lane. It can actually show you like your distance on the road to the car in front. It can give you warning symbols like when it becomes icy. You know, there's lots of things that this kind of micro LED technology can do, and having used it in the dark, it's absolutely fantastic. And this is probably one of the highlights on the car for me. This really is fantastic technology. You really need to kind of get yourself and in a drive at night to look at this car and appreciate it for yourself. Really fantastic job for Audi there. Right then, guys, so here we are inside the new Audi Q3. So again, if you've watched any of my videos quite recently, you'll feel familiar inside this new sort of kind of design architecture, let's call it, from Audi. So you're greeted inside for what I can see is probably the nicest interior there's ever been in this segment of Audi. They really have stepped their game up, and they've really sort of kind of decided that, you know, they're going to kind of, you know, push the interior quality of this car, and you can just look that anything you touch is really, really nice. So I mean, starting off with that, so you can see here you've got some of this lovely kind of Alcantara, Dynamica, whatever they want to call it nowadays, sort of kind of finish, and that kind of goes down the whole door card here. So you've got some lovely finishings which comes along here in that Alcantara all the way up here. You've got all these laser cut out kind of holes here which are for the ambient lighting pack. This car looks absolutely fantastic at night, and that's all fully customizable through the new MMI screen and everything in there as well. They've used a sort of nicer kind of material up here on the top of the doors. It's not that scratchy, horrible plastic that you normally get on the top of the door cards. Really, really nice, to be honest. And again, that extends up onto the dash as well. You have lovely bit of Alcantara which just runs along the top of this dash and everything here as well. But the thing for me is this sort of kind of bit of, what I could describe, it feels like aluminium. To be honest, it's got that cold kind of metal feel, but when you tap it, it does kind of feel plastic behind it. But it probably is a lovely bit of sort of kind of aluminium, and it's got that nice texture on it, and it really, really does finish off the car really, really nicely as well. Down to the centre console and everything here as well. The air vents just run along here. I'm not sort of keen on these big kind of flappy buttons here, to be honest, but they do have a kind of nice feel to them as well. You've got this kind of typical, you know, been over the years, this Audi panel here with the drive selects, you know, and all the buttons for going into EV mode, and this particular one being the hybrid. You've got your lovely sort of kind of charge pad and everything down here as well. This is a 15-watt wireless charger and everything there as well. You've got two high capacity USB charging slots down there as well, and you've got this lovely, again, piano black center console wrapped in, again, more of that lovely Alcantara finish. I mean, normally on cars in this segment, this would be sort of kind of, you know, plastic. This wouldn't be wrapped in Alcantara. And again, this is one of the things I was trying to say in terms of the improvements in the interior in this segment. They really have sort of kind of stepped it up, and it really does feel nicely. It's not like the lower you get down, the more rubbish the car feels. It does feel really, really nice, to be honest. And even the top of the dash and everything's that nice kind of material, the same as the top of here. So yeah, no, I'm absolutely impressed with this car, to be honest, in terms of the interior finish. Now this one, of course, is the kind of launch edition, which is kind of more kind of suited to the edition 1. This one does have the sound and vision Pack Pro on it, so it does have a lot of the options and everything ticked on it. But to be honest, the interior quality will feel just as equally as good in the S-Line model and the Edition 1 as well. So really, really impressed. The seats themselves, again, very, very comfortable. Again, these ones finished in an Alcantara with a sort of kind of sidewall sort of fabric, to be honest. So there isn't actually any kind of traditional leather finish in this car at all, but it doesn't feel like it makes the car feel any sort of kind of less worthy. I love the Alcantara finish on the armrest and everything here as well. It really is a stunning car. So yeah, absolutely big tick for me. Let's jump in the back and see if the interior quality in the back's any different, because that's normally where manufacturers tend to then let themselves down. Right then, guys, so here we are into the rear cabin area. So what's it like for legroom? So yes, I mean, legroom's, you know, absolutely acceptable. I mean, that seat's set in my driving position. I'm round about 5'10", so you know, you can see here plenty of kind of room there for certainly children, where this is potentially going to be used as a family car. So yeah, no, I can't complain about the legroom. What's the finishings like? Again, actually really, really good, to be honest. I mean, again, you've got that same material that you have in the front, that soft touch kind of, you know, don't even know what to call it, but it's some sort of soft touch material there. And you've got all that lovely Alcantara and everything all there as well. Again, some gloss black piano black plastic and everything there as well. This fabric I'm not keen on. I love the Alcantara place, but I think they've used too much of the of this kind of grey fabric that they've went for in the back here, and I think it does just kind of cheapen the back seat a little. I mean, of course, you do have your ski hatch and everything through, a couple of cup holders and everything in the back as well. But yeah, no, I mean, I can't complain about the plastic finishings in the car. Headroom and everything's all good as well. But yeah, I mean, the only thing I would sort of kind of knock it down for is I'm not entirely kind of convinced on this sort of kind of fabric here. but again, it may be something you could change in some of the other models. This one's got the big panoramic roof on it. It's not got any of the fancy technology that Audi have in the sort of A6. Again, this is a lower segment car. We don't want the price of this car being 60,000–70,000 £, so it doesn't have the, you know, the transparency that you can change. It does have a traditional blind and everything, a bit like the new Q5, to be honest. So but yeah, no, the back seat room's good, leg room's good. To be honest, this car is actually the exact same dimensions pretty much as the outgoing model. Even though it's a whole new car, it does use the existing chassis plan modified slightly to sort of house this new car. So yeah, I mean, the dimensions of it is pretty much identical in both the SUV and the Sportback in terms of size. So that means your boot size and everything's identical. Your leg room in the back is pretty much identical. You're just really getting the sort of new technology and everything in the car. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're finally going to take this car out for a drive. Going to talk about some of the technology in the car as we go along, and we're going to get my thoughts on it and see what you think. Right then guys, welcome to the test drive of the Audi Q3. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, this particular model is the e-hybrid. So this is one of the most powerful models in the range, and it's the one that, to be honest, we've been getting a lot of customer inquiries coming in and asking about this new e-hybrid. Now, the e-hybrid you did get in a lesser form in the previous generation, but this one has Audi's new generation battery technology and everything in it. So we'll start off with sort of kind of the power and the battery size. So this car is very, very powerful, round about 270 brake horsepower combined, with both the use of the 1.5 TFSI petrol engine and the you know, the electric motor. So the kind of split on that is round about 170 brake horsepower in the engine and another 100 horsepower in the electric motor. Now, as with any hybrid Audi, you can use them as a combination of both, an intelligent mode where the car will decide, depending on the throttle application, kind of whether you need to be in electric mode or if you need a wee bit of extra oomph from the engine. Really, really efficient, to be honest. I mean, I drove this car for a few days now, and I've used it in all of the different modes, and to be honest, the efficiency you get out of the car is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I had this in intelligent mode and drove home and averaged yesterday round about 160 miles to the gallon, and it only used sort of about 20% of the battery in that 35-mile journey. So, you know, it did use a combination of both all the way, and I got an absolutely fantastic average. Now, you can use this car as in complete an EV mode, so it does have an EV battery on it. Now, it's round about sort of kind of 25 kilowatt hour battery, usables just under 20 kilowatts, which means on a full charge, in the right conditions of course, you'll get round about 70 miles of electric range out of that. Now, it was a wee bit less than now, very, very cold today, around about sort of kind of 3 degrees this morning. It was only showing round about 52 miles of electric range available, but again, it's all down to, you know, what temperature the car's on. Like an electric car, it all depends on different conditions as well. It's not all about sort of kind of, you're guaranteed to get that mileage. But this car's going to effectively suit a lot of people that do kind of local journeys. To be honest, is 90% of their journey per day, you know, commuting to work within 5–10 miles, because it means you could probably use this car as a cheap electric car. Well, not use cheap, but a cheaper electric car compared to something like a Q6 or Q4, which is a lot higher price range. So yeah, I mean, having that up to 70 miles of electric range is a big, big plus for the e-hybrid model, and it's one that we expect a lot more people to go into, because it kind of lets them dip their toe into electric ownership, you know, without that sort of kind of hassle of having to worry about stopping for, you know, public charging stations once they've run out of electricity. The two other engines that the UK are getting at launch, so the most common one's probably going to be the traditional 1.5 TFSI 150 brake horsepower. Now that's front wheel drive, and it does use mild hybrid technology, the same as the old car. Audi also have introduced a more powerful model in the petrol range. Now that one will be the Quattro model, so that will be the 2 litre TFSI, so that one's got 204 brake horsepower, and that one will be available in Quattro. Now that's the only car in the range in the UK that will be able to get Quattro on. The last generation you were able to get the Quattro on the diesel, but unfortunately Audi have decided, at the moment certainly, they may introduce it later in the car's life if there's a demand for it, but certainly it's only the petrol Quattro model that's going to be available. Audi have introduced a diesel model as well, so again they do a 2 litre diesel model which will be available at launch, but we don't anticipate that that one's going to be particularly popular because it is front wheel drive only, and to be honest it's so much more expensive than the petrol model that we don't see a lot of people going for it. We see a lot more people slipping into this car, you know, this petrol hybrid model, which I think suits more of where the future's going and everything as well. So yeah, good drivetrain model. Now they are only all available. Audi have done away with the manual gearbox in the Q3, so you no longer get a Q3 manual, you only get the 7-speed S-tronic, and the reason for that is this new centre console down here. So you know, they've kind of moved the cup holders in that here, so there's not actually anywhere for a drive select or a manual gearbox. They've put this up here now on the dash. Now this is one of the big new features that the Q3 has, is this big sort of kind of bar that runs along the back of the steering wheel here, which houses kind of all your traditional stocks that would normally be on the car. So normally you would have like an indicator stock, you would have a wiper stock and everything on this side, but they've introduced this sort of kind of new component at the back here, which took a bit of getting used to be honest. It is very sort of kind of different, but it makes sense at the same time. So on the right hand side you've got all your sort of kind of, you know, gearbox functions, so your reverse, your neutral, your drive, your park and everything on the right hand side. On the left hand side at the back here you have your indicator switch, which is just sort of kind of lovely mechanical feel to it. It feels really good when you put the indicator on. It does have that nice quality feel, and they've used that sort of kind of aluminium on the end for the buttons as well. Down at the side here you've got your windscreen wash for your front, and you've got your wipers which just sit in this sort of kind of little dial here on the more on the inside. So you know, it's really tidy to be honest, and it's finished nicely by this you know, cruise control stock down here, which has this equally nice feeling and everything to it as well. And it's more about what I was telling you about, that lovely quality feel that this car has. It makes you feel like you're in, you know, a much kind of higher branded Audi, you know, up to sort of A6 type kind of feel is how this car makes you feel interiorly quality. And having worked for Audi for many years, you know, that's what the feeling this car gives me. It doesn't feel like you're in a, you know, a B segment car. It feels like you're in, you know, your bigger C and D segment cars. So yeah, really impressed, and with some really good range of engines available from launch. Now Audi are expecting this car to sell in sort of big volumes. Now they're actually discontinuing the A1 and Q2 in April next year, so A1 and Q2 are going to disappear completely from the Audi range, meaning the A3 is going to be the entry level model into A3. Audi are trying to kind of put themselves higher up in that marketplace again, and try and sort of kind of be that premium brand that they once used to be before they introduced more into the volume segment. So what they've done is they've pushed this Q3 up in quality to sort of kind of be the smallest of the small quality SUVs, and they'll probably find a lot of Q5 customers may come into this car now with how good quality and everything it is. And the reason we can tell that, Audi have actually you know, not only, you know, increased the production of this car, they're actually producing it in 2 places now. Now the Q3 was always produced in Hungary, that was always where the factory was for Q3, but Audi have now extended that, and they're going to be building this car you know, in another factory as well. So this car is going to be produced in Germany as well, at the factory where the A3 and everything is produced in Ingolstadt. So you know, this car they're now going to produce in 2 places, and that's kind of, you know, what Audi thinks they're going to need to do with this car. They're going to need to have 2 production volumes, because they're anticipating it to be a very popular car, not only here in the UK but in Europe as well. So let's talk about some of this driver assistance technology and some of the specification uplifts that this car has. Now this car does have the Sound and Vision Pro Pack on it, so it gives me stuff like my upgraded Sonos sound system, 420 watts I think from memory of power. Absolutely fantastic sound system. I mean, Audi have started putting Sonos into the kind of, you know, the A and B segment cars and left the Bang & Olufsen for the bigger segment cars, but the Sonos really does feel like it has more of a you know, a concentrate on, you know, the vocals. I mean, there's some lovely presets that you can select, like concert and podcast. You know, there's some presets that changes the, you know, the equalization of the sound settings, and you do notice the difference between all of them. And to be fair, it makes your music come alive. It does really make you feel like you're sitting, if you got it in the concert set, it makes you feel like you're sitting in the middle, and you can feel all the different sounds coming from different speakers around the car. So really, really nice upgrade that. We've got the heads-up display, of course. Now it's not the augmented reality heads-up display like you get in the Q6 and the A6 e-tron. It's just the regular heads-up display. So it shows your usual stuff, your speed, your traffic sign, your media, any of your driver assistance, if you've got like the adaptive cruise control and everything on as well. So yeah, no, you know, pretty good functional sort of heads-up display. Now this uses a more advanced version, so because this car has the additional driver assistance pack on it, this one has what's called parking learning assistant, so Audi learning assistant. So what this will do is this, when you use the park assist, will actually start learning your parking maneuvers, and so when you put it into the mode to actually park itself, it remembers the way that you park and it'll assist you in that. Very, very clever. It's also got reverse assist as well, so if you get into a sort of dead-end road, it'll help you turn the car around in the least amount of possible cuts to get out of that dead end. So, you know, these are all the sort of kind of enhancements that they're making to, you know, these new driver assistance technologies, because self-parking assist's been about in cars for years. So, you know, how do they improve upon that? They think about things that will do to help enhance the system even further. So these are kind of things that they've done in the new Q3, and I've not tried it out yet, but you know, these are things that Audi have put there to help you out. It's got all of Audi's new you know, driver assistance technology within the MMI, so that's the kind of things that a lot of people are you know, a wee bit sort of kind of sceptical about. They don't like them, like the, you know, it beeps when you go over the speed limit. It's there to tell you your speed limit's on the dash. A lot of people don't like that. If you drive over the speed limit fairly often, it will get quite annoying. But some of the great things it's got you know, cross traffic alert. So basically, when you're reversing out of a space, it'll tell you if something's coming in your blind spot. Of course, it's got blind spot info system. The adaptive cruise got lane keeping assist. So basically, it'll keep you in the centre of the lane and turn you slightly round the corners and assist you while you're driving. The adaptive cruise control is standard on this car, but not standard on the entry-level models. You do need to upgrade that through the Audi shop and the connected services through your My Audi app if you did want to use it, because it does have the functionality and the hardware built into the car. But yeah, I mean, it's got sort of all of those stuff that you would expect. It's got, you know, collision detecting assist as well. This car will completely take control if it sees no interaction from the driver and it thinks it's going to be involved in an accident. It will actually slow you down and pull you onto the hard shoulder as well if it feels that you're falling asleep behind the wheel. So again, that's something with the drowsiness detection. There's a wee camera in the car here that can detect when the driver's nodded off, and what the car will do is it will take over and pull you into a lay-by and stop you to a dead stop. Now that is something I've not seen on any car, to be honest. That is some really, really good technology, because I've been guilty myself driving in the middle of the night and just feeling myself nod off and wake up suddenly because you feel that you're sort of drifting over to another lane. And, you know, having that technology there that detects that really is something that's going to save lives, and it's going to really help you know, keep the roads safer. So yeah, no, I mean, I can't complain. That sort of technology is fantastic. So this car also uses what's called Audi's new digital stage technology. Now you've seen this in the A6 and in the Q6 and the A5, so this is the new design architecture that the Audi has now. And weirdly, they've swapped to a different operating system that those cars have. Audi have swapped to what's called Android Automotive OS. So this is an Android-based system that they've put in the new digital stage. And to be honest, I like it better. It's so much simpler. The operating system in the other cars was just too complicated. I mean, when you jump through sort of all different of the screens, it was very, you know, you had to feel like you're scrolling up and down pages to get to the bit you want. This is so much more, you know, simple, and I think that's a good thing. It just, everything's where you need it to be, very, very accessible, still looks really, really nice as well. The only thing that I don't sort of understand is the way they've done the virtual cockpit. Now, you can see they've utilised the full kind of the height of the screen here, but they've not utilised the full height of the screen in front of you. It only comes sort of 3/4 of the way up. This isn't a screen here, this is just blank. Now, Audi have done this because they say it's because you wouldn't see it anyway because the top of the steering wheel would block it, but I just think that's a good old excuse, to be honest. You know, I feel that they could have made this a wee bit taller and sort of kind of put a lot more information in front of you. Now, the good thing is you can fuse different views that you want. So with the other cars like the A5 and the Q6, you don't have the option of having your maps and everything in front of you like you could in the older Audis, and that was a bugbear for a lot of customers that got used to doing that, because Audi were the first ones to pioneer that virtual cockpit with the sat-nav in front of you. They took that facility away in the new Q6, the A5 and the Q5, but they've introduced it in the Q3, and I'm told that they're going to be introducing the function back into those cars in a future model year change, but at the moment you don't get that facility. So there's 3 views that you can have in front of you. So you can have the virtual cockpit view here with the sat nav and everything. You can push the view button, you can get your power and charge with your sort of kind of, you know, economy at the side and your media at the other side, which is quite cool. Or you can go into driver assistance mode. Now this is something again that will be familiar if you've drove an A5 or a Q6. It gives you the little animation in front of you, picking up the road in front of you. You've got the animation which shows you when your indicators are on. It picks up the oncoming cars, it picks up the cars that are in front of you, and it kind of shows you your driver assistance when you've got like the cruise control on, the distance you're away from behind the car, which is quite cool, to be fair. It does distract you. I think it's something that you do draw your eye down to it, looking at it to see what it's doing, but I like having it on the you know, the virtual cockpit style with the sat-nav map and everything in front of you, because again, it saves you having to look to the left-hand side to the screen in front of you. All of your heater controls and everything run along the bottom of the touchscreen here. Again, a wee bit fiddly. I would have preferred if it was buttons, but I get why they've done it. They've tried to clean up and tidy up the dashboard and everything inside the car. But yeah, no, it really is a really good infotainment system, and the Audi have improved going to that Android operating system just to make it a bit more simpler for people, and it really has worked, and I prefer that, to be honest, than the operating system that's in the Q5 and the A5. So what does the car actually physically feel like to drive? Now that's something that I've not really discussed yet, but let's get on to it. So yeah, I mean, this car drives fantastic. I mean, again, the e-hybrid model that I'm driving is really, it does feel like a bigger car. You know, it's so smooth. I mean, it's not as quiet as I would expect, you know, something higher in the segment. It doesn't quite have it does have a bit more road noise, and I don't know if that's helped by the 20-inch alloys on this car, but it does have a wee bit more road noise that I'm used to. But in terms of the way it feels, the road handling on this car is absolutely fantastic. Again, it's got the top and bottom sort of, you know, flat bottom, top and bottom steering wheel. It's in a lovely position. The seating position is really, really nice. There's lots of room around the pedal area to put your left foot. You don't feel like you're squashed inside the car whatsoever. Power in the car is really good. I mean, let's just swap it into sort of kind of hybrid mode and put the boot down here, and really does, you feel it gripping and pulling. I mean, listen to that, you know, that's that's shifting, you know, that really does go. And, you know, I mean, you don't expect any less with a combined 270 brake horsepower when both the engine and the electric are working together. But even in electric mode only, with that 100 horsepower of electric mode, it does feel zippy as well. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to have any trouble getting past any tractors in this e-hybrid model, I can tell you that for sure. So yeah, no, absolutely fantastic, and does feel really, really good through the corners and everything as well. Even though it's an SUV, it's not going to be planted to the ground, but there's not a lot of body roll or anything in the car either. It does feel really, really good, and it does help with having that sort of kind of slightly lower down weight with the batteries in the rear floor as well, so it does make the car feel like it's a bit more planted. So yeah, big tick for road handling. I can really really agree that this car handles the road really, really well. Now I just want to report on efficiency again. We touched on it earlier on. Now, since I've been recording this video to you, we've done round about sort of 12 miles, okay? Now, majority of that was in the town there, which was probably on EV model. But, you know, including that we sort of kind of, you know, drop down the gears and plant the boot, this car is showing an average of 300 miles to the gallon and an average of 2.1 miles per kilowatt. That's brilliant. I mean, I get that we've only done 12 miles. We have used round about 15% of the battery usage, so we still have round about 44 miles of you know, electric range still there. But you know, the petrol engine has been getting used a couple of times, and you know, we're up in the high 200s now to 300 miles per gallon. You know, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. You know, if you do a small journey per day of, you know, 15 miles and here and 50 miles back to your house, you know, the running costs in this car are going to be nothing. I mean, you get again onto a tariff for your electricity company, get a charger installed at the house, get onto one of these 7 pence a mile, you know, tariffs. Because it's only a 20 kilowatt hour usable battery, you're probably going to be able to charge this car in 2.5 hours in the house, and it's only going to cost you £1.40 to charge this car back up to full battery power. You know, and if it does kick the engine in, so what? I mean, I've been in this car for 3 days. I've probably done about 100 miles in the car, and when I started it was showing a fuel range in the tank of 165 miles of fuel. I've still got 150. So, you know, even doing the journeys that I do in the car, which is quite a high mileage, I do about 18,000 miles a year, you know, I'm not going to be far off potentially the cost of what it's costing me to run my full EV. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed, and again, it's one of the reasons why I think this e-hybrid is certainly going to be the most popular car in the new Q3 range. So then guys, that was my review of this all-new Audi Q3, and my overall sort of kind of review on this car is absolutely fantastic. This is one of the biggest differences I've seen between one model to the next in terms of a whole new car. Some of the new innovation and everything in this car really does sort of kind of take it to the next level, and I would recommend this car to anybody, and hopefully we're going to see some new customers coming into the Audi brand coming specifically for this car. So yep, absolutely wonderful car, and hopefully if you enjoyed the video and my thoughts and reviews. If you do want to see more videos, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll hopefully get some new ones out to you soon, and leave a like on the video if you feel this review's been helpful. So thanks again guys, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.